During their vacation, the girl chose not to stay in the luxurious villa. Instead, she insisted on staying in the shabby wooden cabin next door. Everyone mocked her for being foolish. Little did they know, a giant python dozens of meters long was about to attack. The seemingly luxurious villa would offer no protection against the python's assault. By contrast, a hidden basement lay beneath the shabby cabin. Only by hiding there could they survive. The reason the girl could foresee the future was that she had a strange dream on the way to the forest villa for their vacation. In that dream, they were attacked by the python. While fleeing, she alone accidentally twisted her ankle. In the end, she was cruelly abandoned by her boyfriend and best friend. Only then did she realize that her boyfriend had not only betrayed her, but had even had a child with her friend. Just as she was being swallowed by the python, she suddenly opened her eyes and woke up, finding herself on the way to the forest resort. At first, she thought it was only a nightmare, but the next second, the car actually stopped just like in the dream. Then the car started leaking oil and would not start. A radio broadcast reported a landslide that had blocked access to and from the mountain. The construction crew expected the repairs to take 3 days. The girl turned her head and saw a huge snakeskin on the ground. She realized that she had not been dreaming but had been reborn. When she learned that her companions planned to hike to the forest villa for their vacation, the girl hurried forward to stop them. Pointing at the snakeskin, she said they needed to leave immediately because of the python. Everyone thought she was joking. They simply refused to believe that such a huge snake existed. Hearing that their car had broken down, the resort manager came personally to escort them to the villa in the forest. The girl knew she could not leave the forest on her own. She had no choice but to follow them to the villa. The manager reassured the girl not to worry, because the villa was fully secured outside and snakes could not get in. Just as the girl was warning the manager that the snake was a giant python dozens of meters long, the manager noticed the generator on the ground, and immediately went forward to inspect it. The girl remembered her previous life, in which the manager had gone to check the generator, had one leg blown off, and ultimately failed to escape the python's attack. So the girl stopped the manager, and warned that the machine was about to explode. The manager refused to believe her. She insisted the machine had just been bought by her brother and could not explode. However, she had not noticed that the machine was leaking oil. At that moment, her brother heard the noise and came over to check. He also refused to believe that the new machine could be faulty, and in the next second, the machine exploded. Only then did the siblings realize that the girl had been telling the truth. The girl told them that this was only the beginning of the danger. That giant python was the real threat. Tonight, the python would come to devour them all. They had to get ready in advance. The siblings found it hard to believe. The girl immediately went to get Realgar powder as a precaution. Meanwhile, the other companions were choosing their rooms. Since there were too many people to stay in the villa, someone had to remain in the rundown cabin. When she saw that no one wanted to go, the girl volunteered to stay in the cabin. Her boyfriend and best friend could not help laughing. Sure enough, the girl discovered a basement in the cabin. She then began reinforcing the old cabin, and stocked enough food and heating equipment. Next, she evenly spread Realgar powder and wormwood leaves around the cabin. So the girl stayed busy until nightfall, until she believed it could last until the rescue team arrived. At that moment, she noticed her companions gathered together and throwing a party. She rushed over and demanded that they turn off the music, saying the noise would attract the python. But everyone thought she was crazy. Her best friend even turned the music up to full volume. The manager remembered the girl's earlier prediction about the generator exploding, and chose to believe her. She then returned to the villa and brought out the bow and arrows used for hunting beasts. Then she asked the girl what to do next. The girl pointed to the cabin and said it was the only safe place. Upon hearing this, everyone laughed at her. The girl did not want to explain further. She took the manager to the cabin. With only 30 seconds left before the python's attack, the manager's brother, who had gone to fetch gasoline, still had not returned. The girl had no choice but to tightly close the cabin door. Meanwhile, the companions outside were still partying. The girl looked at her watch and began the countdown. When she reached 1, the python indeed appeared behind the companions. The group was terrified. When they turned back and looked carefully, they realized that the giant python was actually just the shadow of a piece of cloth. Now everyone believed the girl even less. They thought she was deliberately creating panic by claiming the giant python was attacking. When the girl realized the python had not arrived on time, she also felt very puzzled. Little did she know, the giant python had already appeared in the lake. It had eaten a teammate who was alone. The next day, everyone mocked the girl for spreading rumors. They claimed the giant python had not come last night. The girl explained that she had scattered Realgar powder around the area. That was why the giant python's attack was delayed. Otherwise, all of them would have died. At this point, her best friend suggested that everyone go play in the valley. The girl immediately stopped them. She said the valley was too close to the giant python's nest. It would be very dangerous to go there. However, no one believed her. They thought the girl must have a mental illness. They suggested that she go to the hospital for treatment. Then everyone went to the valley together to have fun. They completely ignored the girl's attempts to stop them. After hearing that they had gone to the valley, the manager worried that they might get lost. He immediately wanted to go protect them. The girl quickly stopped him. She said there were giant pythons near the valley. The manager did not believe her. He insisted on going after those teammates. With no other choice, the girl had to take her bow and arrow and prepare to protect them. Just then, the manager's brother came over. He said there were too many dangers in the forest. He would protect everyone. The girl remembered that in her previous life, it had been he who drove away the giant python, so she agreed to go with him. Soon, everyone arrived at the valley. Seeing the beautiful scenery, they all began taking photos. Suddenly, a huge snakeskin caught the manager's brother's attention. He began to suspect that the girl had been telling the truth about the giant python. At that moment, one teammate was about to play music. The girl hurried forward to stop her. She said the music would attract the giant python, but no one believed her. Not long after, everyone arrived at a cave. The girl could tell that this was the giant python's nest. After hearing that, her best friend immediately mocked her. She thought the girl was talking nonsense. At that moment, the teammate played music again. The girl told her to turn it off. She refused. The girl no longer wanted to deal with them. She was ready to take the manager and leave that dangerous place. Her best friend said the girl was deliberately spreading rumors. It was because she hated her for stealing her boyfriend. The other teammates also said the girl was not as pretty as her best friend. It was normal for her to be dumped by her boyfriend. Just as everyone was mocking the girl, a strange sound came from the cave. The girl was sure the giant python was about to come out. She shouted for everyone to run. Unexpectedly, when everyone turned to look, they saw it was just a small snake. The girl was once again mocked by everyone. The girl explained that the giant python was inside the cave. If it came out, all of them would die. Only after everyone returned to the rest station did they discover that one teammate was missing. The girl guessed that teammate had been eaten by the giant python. Her best friend angrily hit her. She thought the girl was cursing their teammate. The girl kindly reminded them that if they did not believe her, there was nothing she could do. Then the girl prepared to return to the cabin to hide. She said only there was the safest place. Her boyfriend said that the girl was doing all this just to get his attention, but that would only make him hate her even more. The girl denied it. Then she turned and left. When she returned to the cabin, she was very confused about why the giant python had not arrived on time. Suddenly, the manager was startled by something outside the window. The others were playing outside. One teammate was stunned. When the best friend saw this, she thought the girl was putting on an act. When they saw the watch of the missing teammate on the ground, they were all shocked. Turning around, they discovered that the giant python had really arrived.